Hello, I'm Dr. Franklin. Welcome back to Prime Age Lab, where we examine the real science behind aging and how your body changes after 60. Today we're going to challenge a belief that almost no one questions. You've been told that leafy greens are essential for your health. Spinach, kale, chard, foods rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber. And that's true. But what is rarely explained is how your body's ability to process these foods changes with age. According to research from the National Institute on Aging, digestive efficiency, kidney function, and nutrient metabolism all decline gradually after 60. At the same time, studies published in journals like The Lancet Rheumatology show a steady rise in chronic joint pain and inflammation in older adults. Most explanations stop at aging. But at Prime Age Lab, we ask a different question. What if, in some cases, the issue is not just aging itself, but how the aging body interacts with certain compounds in everyday foods? Today we're going to explore that possibility and what may be happening beneath the surface. The health paradox after 60. There is a pattern that becomes increasingly common after the age of 60. Diet improves. People begin eating more vegetables, more whole foods, more nutrient-dense meals. And yet, instead of feeling better, many report persistent stiffness, joint discomfort, and low-grade inflammation. This creates a paradox. Because the expectation is clear, better food should lead to better health. But the human body does not remain constant. According to the National Institute on Aging, aging affects digestion, nutrient absorption, and metabolic efficiency. At the same time, research in the journals of gerontology shows that inflammatory markers tend to increase with age, even in otherwise healthy individuals. Historically, food preparation played a key role. Cooking, soaking, and fermenting were standard practices that reduced certain plant compounds naturally. Modern habits have shifted toward raw consumption, especially through smoothies and salads, which increases exposure to these compounds in concentrated form. The issue is not that healthy foods become harmful, but that the body's ability to process them changes. And when intake patterns remain the same, but physiology changes, a mismatch can begin to develop. The hidden compounds inside healthy greens. Plants contain a variety of natural compounds that serve protective functions. Among them are substances known as anti-nutrients, including oxalates. Oxalates are naturally found in many foods, but are particularly concentrated in spinach, beet greens, and Swiss chard. According to research from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, oxalates can bind with minerals such as calcium, forming compounds that the body must eliminate. In most healthy individuals, this process occurs efficiently. However, studies published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology show that oxalate handling varies significantly between individuals, especially with changes in kidney function and gut health. This becomes more relevant with age. The National Kidney Foundation notes that kidney filtration efficiency gradually declines over time, which may affect how certain compounds are processed. In addition, research highlights the role of gut bacteria, particularly species that help degrade oxalates before absorption. When these bacteria decline, oxalate absorption may increase. The key issue is not the presence of oxalates, but the balance between intake and elimination. And that balance can shift over time. What happens inside the body when oxalates bind with calcium? They form calcium oxalate crystals. These crystals are most commonly associated with kidney stones, a relationship well documented by the National Kidney Foundation. In certain conditions, these compounds may also contribute to localized irritation when present in excess. Research published in Frontiers in Immunology shows that crystal-like structures in the body can activate inflammatory pathways, triggering immune responses. This does not mean that dietary oxalates directly cause joint damage, but it highlights how the body responds to persistent microscopic stressors. Inflammation, in this context, is not random. It is a biological response to perceived irritation or imbalance. Over time, chronic low-grade inflammation has been linked to joint discomfort, reduced mobility, and age-related conditions. According to studies in Nature Review's Rheumatology, inflammation plays a central role in joint health decline. What makes this process difficult to identify is its gradual progression. There is no clear starting point. Only repeated exposure, combined with reduced clearance, which may contribute to overall inflammatory load. Why this becomes more noticeable after 60. Aging affects multiple systems simultaneously, and these changes alter how the body handles everyday inputs. Kidney function, which is essential for filtering waste and maintaining balance, declines gradually with age. According to the National Kidney Foundation, glomerular filtration rate decreases over time, reducing efficiency in clearing certain compounds. At the same time, digestive function changes. Research published in Gut Microbes Journal shows that the diversity of gut microbiota decreases with age, including bacteria involved in metabolizing compounds like oxalates. This means more of these compounds may pass into circulation. In addition, mineral balance becomes more fragile. Calcium and magnesium levels, which play roles in metabolic processes, may fluctuate due to diet or absorption changes. The combined effect is not a sudden reaction, but a gradual shift in tolerance. What the body once processed easily may begin to require more effort. And when intake remains consistent, but processing becomes less efficient, subtle stress can accumulate. Over time, this may contribute to changes that are often attributed solely to aging, but may also involve how the body interacts with diet, the daily habit that changes the outcome. The issue is rarely a single food. It is the pattern. In recent years, health advice has shifted toward daily consumption of specific superfoods. Green smoothies, raw spinach salads, blended vegetable drinks, often consumed in large amounts every single day. This creates consistency, but it also increases exposure. According to research published in the Journal of Food Composition and Analysis, spinach and similar greens contain some of the highest concentrations of dietary oxalates. Under normal conditions, moderate intake is not a concern. However, studies referenced by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health suggest that very high or repeated intake, especially in concentrated forms like smoothies, can significantly increase total oxalate load. Preparation also matters. Research shows that boiling certain leafy greens can reduce oxalate content, while raw consumption retains higher levels. Modern habits often favor raw intake. The difference is subtle, but over time it becomes cumulative. What matters most is not whether a food is good or bad, but how often it is consumed, in what form, and how the body processes it at that stage of life. Signals the body may be under stress. When the body experiences ongoing internal stress, it rarely responds with clear, immediate symptoms. Instead, the signals are gradual. Morning stiffness, reduced joint flexibility, a lingering sense of inflammation that improves slightly with movement, but never fully disappears. These patterns are commonly associated with aging, and in many cases they are. However, Research published in Nature Reviews Rheumatology shows that chronic low-grade inflammation plays a central role in age-related joint discomfort. Inflammation is influenced by multiple factors, including diet, metabolism, and immune response. Studies from the National Institute on Aging also highlight that aging increases baseline inflammatory activity, making the body more sensitive to additional stressors. This does not mean specific foods directly cause joint pain, but it does suggest that dietary patterns can influence the body's overall inflammatory load. The challenge is that these changes are subtle. They develop slowly, often without a clear starting point, which makes them easy to overlook and difficult to connect to daily habits. Why this often goes unnoticed. One of the reasons this pattern goes unnoticed is because it is built on good intentions. The foods involved are widely recommended, supported by research, and associated with long-term health benefits. Leafy greens are rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and fiber. There is no question about their value. However, nutrition science has evolved. According to research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, individual responses to food can vary significantly based on age, metabolism, gut health, and genetics. This concept is known as nutritional variability. For older adults, this variability becomes more pronounced. The same dietary pattern may produce different outcomes depending on how the body processes it. Because the timing between cause and effect is delayed, and because symptoms are nonspecific, the connection is rarely made. Instead, changes are attributed to aging alone. This does not mean the food is the problem. It means the relationship between the body and the food may have changed. And that distinction is often overlooked. This is not about eliminating healthy foods. It is about understanding how the body changes with time. After 60, nutrition becomes more individual. The goal is not simply to follow general advice, but to pay attention to how your body responds. Because health is not defined by labels like superfood or clean eating, it is defined by balance, tolerance, and long-term sustainability. Leafy greens remain valuable, but like many things in biology, context matters. How much, how often, and how your body processes it. Because what supports health in one stage of life may require adjustment in another. True health is not about following rules. It's about understanding your body's response.